Okay, boys and girls, another thing now we need to know about adding an event, right? In the case of adding an event to the calendar, you would use this add new event, and only people you designate as an editor for your group can edit, and only your group. And since you're the only one that has access to those things besides me, for your page. That means other groups are not going to be posting your calendar unless you give their editor rights to do so. Okay, here, what we're going to do is we're going to go to this event here. And we're just going to pull it up real quick because we want to do some editing on this. I want to show you behind the scenes rather than creating a new event. I don't have one handy at the moment, and it's just easier to show you the settings. So here is this event that's coming up at the DoubleTree, I think, yeah, on the 9th. So we're going to go in here and edit it. And this is what you would see if you click the new event button. Okay, coming up. There we go. So if I had clicked the new event button, these, of course, will be all blank. All right. This is the venue. Now, if the venue is already in the system, you can do that here. All right, you can just highlight the event, the location, and it'll automatically link the maps and that kind of stuff. And I'll show you in a minute how to add something here, and you'll want to do that first if it's a new venue. All right, and if you in doubt, go check it. All right, so then you can pick what kind of an event it is. And here, this is an education and training event, forums for like candidates or that kind of thing. You can have a group meeting, a House vote or Senate vote. If you know about something that's coming up on that, by all means, post it. But post it on the central calendar rather than your group's calendar, unless it's a local only deal. All right, and I'll add those options for categories. And then there's also rally. If it's in a rally type event, then that's what you want to use. All right, here's your HTML text editor, basic Word format thing that is covered in the earlier training videos on how to add content, so we won't get too redundant there. All right, and you can see all the formatting and then the links and blah blah blah. All right, scrolling down here, we've got our start time and start date and end date for the event. If it's a week-long thing, obviously you're going to have different dates. Otherwise, you'll want to make sure same date. Your start time and stop time. If it's an all-day event, you can click that. All right. Who the event owner is, the email for the event owner. In other words, the person that needs to be notified every time somebody registers or RSVPs for this event. That's who you want to have notified, or if people have questions. Okay. That's the person to contact, and that option is there as well. Is this featured? Now, the featured thing allows it to show up in a listing module that you're going to see in a later video, and it shows you the basic little short listing of events on your home page, or in the case of the central calendar, on the home page of the website. Okay. And then image settings. If you've got an image that you want to have show up on the event, this is where you'd put it. And as you can see, this is in groups. It's in Citizens Action Committee, and it's in their images file is where that's loaded. If you need to put in a new one, click this upload file here, and then use this drop-down menu to tell it where. And I recommend you put it in your group's images file. Okay, and then it'll give you a similar to when you were adding pictures to content. It'll give you that kind of a little frame to put that in, right? Attachment settings. If you've got a file like a PDF or a form of something that people need to fill out, or if you want to put an event flyer that people can print out and distribute, that kind of thing, you can upload that, and I recommend that you do that in the same way. Upload it to your group, and then under there's also will be one listed here for content. I guess I better get on those and get those up there right away. You can have it a file on your site that's already there. If it's already there, you can find it here. Okay. All right. So attachment 1 and 2. All right. Then is it a recurring event? So for your weekly meetings and things like that, that's what you're going to want to do. Okay. If you're having something that happens every month or every 2 weeks, you can do that, and it'll keep you from having to go in and redo this every week. All right. And I'll just keep putting it on. And each one, since it's a recurring event, each one that people RSVP for will have its own independent settings for that. All right. Then there is the registration settings, okay, which you can allow registration. You can make it for members only if you want. How many number of days before the event and time. that people can still RSVP. In other words, if you need to know everybody that's going to be there 10 days before the event so that you can buy tickets, then by all means, that's what you want to do. Okay. Maximum number of attendees. Some of the venues that we have these meetings and things in, you've only got space for 20 people. Well, you don't want to over-register. Okay, so obviously, if you've got a limitation, if you don't have a limitation, if it's unlimited, open area, obviously, like a rally at the Capitol, you wouldn't need to do that. But even Quest Field has a limited number of seats, right? Okay. If it's a free event or you're charging for it, and if you're charging for it, those settings are covered in the calendar on how that works. And here, if you were doing that, registration options, the price, and who can register. Maybe it's only your group, maybe it's everybody. If you put all users, that means anybody that's registered on the site can actually access it. All right. Leave this section here alone. Event notification settings. This is who you want it to notify when you post an event. Okay. If it's an event on your calendar for your group, you're going to want to put, in this case, it would be We the People Vancouver. So if I could just get my ability to spell, there we go. We the People Washington State is how they're listed in here. You want all their members notified. Editors are automatically members as well, so you don't need to check both boxes for this one. All right, and if there's any additional emails, maybe you got some people who haven't registered with the site yet, that you know they haven't, or somebody you want to send a copy of this event to that isn't registered with the site. That's a good idea to do that there. And as you can see, when you click on this help button, and all of these things have this help button, so that's pretty handy. When you put these email addresses, I ran into a problem with this myself. No spaces after the or before the semicolon in between the addresses. So it's the email address, the .com, whatever, semicolon, immediately into the next email address. Okay. If you put spaces, it'll error, and you'll see it highlighted in red, and then you'll know why. It'll say something about the email format's incorrect. All right. Once you've set all those settings, of course, and done all that, and you can click the update. Make sure the event approval is set. All right. And that's really, the publish date. When do you want it to publish? Which means if you're still working on it, you haven't got all the details done, or it's not finished, or maybe it didn't display right, but you don't want to just delete it and start over. You can change that publish date to a date down the road for whenever you actually want it to show up on the calendar. You got all the details finished, or think you will, or whatever. That's when it'll publish it. All right. If you leave this blank, it may publish it right away. I haven't tried that yet, so I recommend that you put a date in here that's out. Put it for Christmas next year if you have to, just to keep it from automatically publishing before you're done with it. All right. And really, that's about it. Down here at the bottom, you hit the update button. If you've made changes to this and you're not sure you want to keep them, just hit the cancel. It'll go away. All right. And you can also delete the event here, but I recommend that you don't do that if you're working on something unless you completely screw it up. That's it for this video. More to come.